Welcome to my new series of listening to an album for every day in November. And I listened to 16 albums. That is a lot of albums. Most of them suck. I kept doing it on accident though. But I listened to a lot of like pop and rap. But I also want to give an honorable mention to two songs so I can quickly kind of just go through right into the video. Um, it was Crip Crowd Rich's CCR Gear, which it was literally unlistenable. I did not listen to it because I couldn't listen to it. And then Lola Hall's Go. That's just her about being a thought. That's the whole album. And luckily there's only 5 songs, but I'm not even going to mention it because I put 3 sentences down. Alright, let's get into the video. So the first album was Erica Jane's Singled Out, which came out on November 3rd. It's very short. I mean, it's an EP, so don't expect it to be super long. It has 4 songs, but the songs do blend together a lot. They have the same like pop style with a verse, bridge, then chorus, and it keeps kind of repeating that. But then, I mean, the beats have a pretty good vibe to it. It sounds cool as a basic like radio pop style, and she has a nice voice. Honestly, she's pretty good. I feel like she could do pretty good without doing the same party style like what the whole album's about. Probably the best song on there is Strangers in the Night, and because it's just a forgetting about being sober and just about partying, not worrying about anything. It's just simple. But overall the album's like a 6 out of 10. There's some nice songs to it, but it's not the best I've ever heard in my life. And the first song was obviously Strangers in the Night. Now, the next album you might recognize, it's Joji Smithereens that came out on November 4th. And you should probably know it for the song Glimpse of Us, which is the first song on the album. But the song's really good in the beginning, and the last 2 songs are pretty good. But right in the middle, it sucks. It's really bad. It has really like nice, sad songs, and it's a really nice beat. It has great meaning. I don't really feel songs, but that made me feel stuff. The last 2 songs have like actual like kind of rap into it. It has good bars. The beats are cool and calm. But the middle ones are kind of just are weird and they just sound bad. Like the songs Night Rider, Blah Blah Blah, and Yukon have a similar basic trap beat with lyrics that are not even like different from each other. And then the best song on there definitely is Glimpse of Us, as great verses on it. Joji has a really nice voice on it, and I like the piano in the background. It gives a whole like sad vibe. And the song Dissolve tries to be like that, but the lyrics are bad and the beat's okay. And then an actual good rap song in here was 1am Freestyle, which is at the end of the song. It has a simple trap beat, which kind of sucks, but it has better verses, and it's also like a minute. It's like almost 2 minutes long. Overall, the song has a lot of bad stuff on it, but the good songs kind of even it out, which gives me 7 out of 10. My favorite song is Glimpse of Us. Now, obviously, there was CCR Gear, which came out on November 5th, but right after what came out November 7th was Matt Watson's See You There. It's very video gamey. It's kind of like if The Weeknd and a video game person was put together. But I like 4 of the songs, and a lot of the songs are very stretched out with long instrumentals and like similar choruses. I don't really remember what most of the songs were. Like they all blended together with a video gamey beat. It was just super duper weird. I didn't really like it. But the best song on there was probably Ring Pop, which had pretty good bars, and the feature, which I forget his name, was pretty good. He had pretty nice bars, but most songs are way too long. There's one song, I'm pretty sure it's called like Choral or something, and it's all like instrumental. And then right at the end, there's his goofy off vocals, which suck, and I skipped it. But overall, this very boring album is 4 out of 10. Only had 4 good songs, and probably the best song on there was Ring Pop. And obviously after, on November 9th was Lola Hall's album, which I don't want to mention ever again in my life. But then after was, which came out on the 10th, it was Brantley Gilbert's So Help Me God. It's a country album, and actually I enjoyed it a lot. I there's a couple of songs. There's like 4 different songs: the third song, the eighth song, the ninth song, and the 10th song, which are like every country song ever, and they're not that good. But the rap country songs are actually pretty good. They're way better than "Yeah, we fancy like Applebee's on a date night." And there's also a song called "The Worst Country Song of All Time," which, I mean, it was funny, but it's not as funny as it was before. But it's just the total opposite of what it actually was. It's just like, oh, we like the country. No, we actually like the city. And there's also "Rollie on a Redneck," which for some reason has like a copyright or whatever. It's not as good as some other songs, but it's pretty basic. I enjoyed it. But definitely a good song on there was "Son of a Dirty South" featuring Jelly Roll. The bars from Jelly Roll are pretty good. It was really fun, and I definitely very hype. And the chorus was pretty good. I mean, it was kind of weird why Brantley Gilbert yelled, but it was okay. And then most songs like had a good style to it, and it's way better than any country song or anything country I've ever heard. I give it an 8 out of 10. It's not a full perfect album because of those goofy, boring country songs. And my favorite song was "Son of a Dirty South" featuring Jelly Roll. I give Jelly Roll some credit. He has some pretty. Now the next album, which is one of the worst things. I mean, I was kind of hyped because it was Black Eyed Peas, but it's Black Eyed Peas Elevation, which came out on the 11th of November. And this album was absolute cheeks. This album sucked because a lot of it was really boring electronic songs with random Spanish like rappers or whatever, and I can't understand Spanish because I'm like the whitest person ever. But either way, the song just sucked. A good example is like the first few songs. There's a song that sounds like it was made in BandLab, and there's also this person who keeps going on the album, J. Ray Soul. Her everything when she's on the album just sucks. Like, she needs to shut up. I freaking hate it. Same thing with will.i.am. His verses, like, he sounds bored a lot of the time, and most of the time I just want him to shut up. There's one song where they ruined the Scatman song. They had Scatman in the background, like the skibidi don't whatever in the background, and I freaking hate them for ruining that song. But that song is a masterpiece. But then after like the 7th song, Taboo and Alp the Alp, they got their own songs for some reason. It's actually way better than any song with will.i.am in it, so it was pretty refreshing. But even then, their bars still kind of sucked. And I don't know. One song, kind of like the main song of it, is "Don't You Worry" featuring Shakira. I mean, I've heard it on the radio a couple times, but now when I listen to the whole album, it just all blends in with the stupid crap that's on that album. And I don't know. I just hate it. There's also a song where it takes Fergie's vocal from Boom Boom Pow, but she's no longer in the band, and it's kind of weird for them to sample their own thing with a person who was used to be in the band. But that's just me. It seems kind of weird. Overall, this album sucked. I give it a 2 out of 10. But there's at least there's 2 songs that are actually pretty good. My favorite song is probably "Filipina Queen," but I honestly don't care for this album at all. If the Erica Jane one didn't already sound poppy enough, Vault Boys' "This Is What I Get," which came out on November 15th, is way more poppy. Vault Boy is just super silly. I mean, it's a little bit better than hers because of the there's one more song. But the first 2 songs, "Ghost Stories" and "I Can't Do Anything Right," have the same pop style we've heard before, but except it's way shorter and you hear the chorus like a gajillion times. "Why You Gotta Be Like That" featuring Nightly is better than the other 2 because of the feature. The feature, he has a nice style, and he's just a lot different from Vault Boy and his booty songs. The chorus does suck like everything else. And then the song I Wish You Knew, and This Is What I Get, take a turn into a sad, heartbroken thing, which is not that good. It's not as good as Joji or anything. It's very repetitive and boring, like Matt Watson. But the songs aren't like a gajillion minutes long. But the album only has one good song, and the album is just kind of garbage. It's not fun. It's not cool. It's not interesting. But another thing that's not interesting is Cooties in Trap We Trust, which came out the next day, November 17th, 16th, whatever. It's a very boring album to listen to. It's very trap, like what it says in Trap We Trust. The first two songs, Kuda Talk and How You Like Me Now, is the beginning of the same repetitive thing. Like, it has the same chorus, verse, chorus, maybe a verse, and then chorus again. And the one good song in there, Greatest, has an actual pretty good chorus, and his flow is actually pretty good besides from the second verse. The beats are okay on it. I don't know, but the song The Greatest, the beat's pretty fire. There's another song called Teed, which has this vocals from this girl named Nelsia. She has really nice vocals in the background, but she doesn't actually sing. But the rest of the album is I actually skipped a lot of the songs because of the boring trap beats, the same structure, and I just hated it the whole way through. And I give the album a 3 out of 10. It's definitely better than Black Eyed Peas, but it's still boring. Now, the album that came out on November 17th was Brockhampton, The Family. Don Turtle would like this album, but except that the only person that gives vocals is Kevin Abstract, which is kind of silly. The songs start good, and it just gets boring and boring. Luckily, the songs are only like 2 minutes long, which I didn't even know they split up. Like I've listened to some Brockhampton, but I didn't realize they split up. With most of the songs, they had like not that good of flow, but they also had a lot of sampled stuff, like kind of like an old Kanye stuff. It was pretty interesting. I did kind of like it. The first songs were fine. I don't know. They were kind of interesting. It's just right in the middle of it. When Kevin tries to talk about how he misses the band, he misses everyone, but he doesn't usually have that in like 5 different songs. But luckily the songs are like 1:40 to 2:30. The last song, Brockhampton, is probably the best one. It's more detailed about like how they were as a band. His flow is Kevin's flow is pretty good, and the bars are pretty good as well. Overall, this album it's just really repetitive and boring, but I give it a 6 out of 10 because there's at least some songs that were not bad. Obviously, the best song was Brockhampton. And now, the song that came out on my birthday, November 18th, was Maisie's Girl Just Wanna Have Sex. Now you're thinking like, who is this person? It's a TikTok person. You may have heard the song Dum Dum. Everyone is dum 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 dum. Don't even mind my singing. But the song sucks. Luckily the EP only had 5 songs, but it's just the TikTok EP. Thank God it was so short. But I'll talk about the songs individually. The first song, which is the title, the song is really annoying and it feels very rushed for no reason. I don't remember what the verses are. I can remember the chorus of it. Also, it seems really gay for some reason, but that's just me. Then number 2, Menace. She's not even a menace. The chorus is repetitive and the verses are absolute dog water. Now, the song All I Ever Want is more peaceful. There's not anything weird, but it's just simple and the lyrics are kind of mid. Now, Lose Someone, it was calm, but it got very repetitive and wasn't like crazy. And Dum Dum, I'm not even going to mention it because the chorus sucks, the verses suck, everything sucks. I give this a 3 out of 10 because it was at least listenable, and there was only like 2 bearable songs, so there's no favorites because all the songs were like absolute water. Their cheeks. The next album, before I even talk about it, I've been listening to all these albums on Spotify, but for some reason, it just wasn't on Spotify. It was on SoundCloud, so that's fun. But the album was Meek Mill's Flamers 5. Mixtape is very weird and it had so many remixes. It was kind of silly. In the beginning of the album, it played "Eye of the Tiger," like just straight up "Eye of the Tiger." I mean, I liked it, but it was definitely weird. One of the songs, he took Future's verse for with the original song, which kind of weird, kind of lazy as well. Another one, he used a Lil Wayne song, but the beat is garbage with his flow on top of it. It just makes it absolute cheeks. But most album he has pretty like he has like mid to okay flow. But sometimes he actually has pretty good flow. The first 5 songs were pretty bad. I did not like them, but a pretty good song was his version of Munch with featuring Kerr. His bars and flow were actually really good over it, and Kerr's flow was a little bit worse, but I think he still had fire lyrics. And then it's way better than Ice Spice's verses on that song because Munch is notorious for being so silly. Overall, the flow of the whole album ruins it. The beats are fine, besides from the Lil Wayne one, but it's more in depth than the Family. And I think I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Obviously, the best song is Munch. And next song is another trap album. I keep picking these trap albums. And it had 21 songs. And it came out on the 24th. Sneak Bows made in Brixton. The album is similar to Cooties, but it has better lyrics. The first few songs are good, but also it gets more repetitive as you go on. And one good song of it is Gingerbread Man. The beat has a cool flute in the back, and the chorus is really good, but it can be a little bit repetitive. Like, one part of it is running to the money, running to the back. Something like that. His bars are pretty good. His flow is on point. And one really good song was A-Town Crazy, and it was featuring J-Boy and Styx. The bars are freaking crazy. The trap beat is honestly freaking nutty. Like, all of it works together so well. And also, another thing with this album, it was a UK trap beat, Cheerio, and it was the same hi-hats for every single song, because that's just how it works. But the beats, I mean, they try to make the beats sound different, but I still hear the but overall I give it a 6 out of 10. It wasn't like bad, but I don't know, there's more good stuff than there was bad. And also the best song was A-Town Crazy. Now the next album, I thought it was gonna be pretty interesting. It's which came out on the 25th. It was Avril Lavigne's Love Sucks. It was also a deluxe version, but the deluxe doesn't have anything to do with it. There are 2 acoustic versions of songs, and I didn't bother to listen to it, but it's just gonna be the same thing, but with acoustics over it. I realized that this album is worse than the Black Eyed Peas album. She just kept her emo like rock it's like her like rock self from like 2005. And that's what I hate about it. And also, the people on this album, there's Black Bear, Youngblood, and Machine Gun Kelly. That's the worst people to put on anything. There's also another random guy, but I'll talk about him later. So let me talk about 2 good things about it. The song "All I Wanted" with Mark Hoppus is actually not that bad. The beat was like simple. The rock beat was fine. The Mark sounded kind of robotic, but he had pretty good lyrics. I feel like their vocals together was really good. And then Black Bear's verse on "Love It" was not bad. He did way better than anything else. Also, Black Bear did an Eminem reference. He said he loved the way you lie. But I mean, besides that, the songs have a boring emo style. There were just a lot of like bad Machine Gun Kelly things. Like Machine Gun Kelly sounded bored, and I didn't even want to listen to Youngblood, but I did. Their verses were bad. Like, I mean, Youngblood, he did sound like he wanted to be there, but the lyrics on it just sucked. And Machine Gun Kelly did not want to be there. Plus, he's on a song where it was like "Girl" or "Boys Lie" or something. I forget what it's called, but I don't want to know what it's called. But it's something about like hating boys. What is he, gay now? I don't know what's going on. If you listen to it, which I don't want you to, it's the same emo thing, and I actually lost my mind listening to it. I give it a 2 out of 10. There's no favorite songs. I freaking hated it. Now the next album, which came out on the 29th, was Young K.O.'s 19. And for some reason, he sounds just like Yeet. So there's not even a reason. I don't know why he sounds like Yeet. There's a song that has Yeet bells in the background, which is pretty funny, but I don't know. It's on the song "It Work." The chorus sucks of it. It's just about making a girl twerk. It's just freaking annoying. The second verse, all the flow sucks. Now, like, they get really bad. There's a song that was 4 minutes 30 because I don't know. It was getting so boring. The only good thing was the song Vector. The beat was okay and had a cool video game vibe to it. And the lyrics were pretty good. But I mean, the beat's kind of like carried his rapping, and it was I just 2 out of 10. It wasn't that interesting besides from Vector. It was actually worse than the Black Eyed Peas. Actually, I don't know if it's worse, but it's like right next to it, above it, and it was just kind of stinky. Now, the last album, which came out on November 30th, is Sully's Songs to Eat Turkey To. So this album's very weird, and it didn't even come out on Thanksgiving, so that's pretty dumb. Second of all, the music is structured in 20 to 40-second songs, aside from the last song, which is a minute 40. The first song is about some like random uncle bringing up politics, and makes no sense, but it's kind of funny. There's also a I Write Sins Not Tragedies parody. It's like a parody of the chorus, and it's bad. It's not funny. And then the last song, The Turkey to My Heart, is the longest song, and it's boring. Overall, there's other random skits, but they all kind of just blend in, and it all gets super duper boring. And it's not cool because I'm actually subscribed to Sully. He makes cool like automaton videos, but I don't know. I give the album 5 out of 10. There's no favorites, but I do like mashed potatoes. Overall, this whole thing I did, I picked the most like booty albums, and I thought they sound interesting. The only one that was probably gonna be good was Made in Brixton, and I was gonna listen to The Family, and now I gotta work on that one for December. So you guys can like and subscribe, but I don't even care if you want to. Just at least watch the video.